Right. So hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining our free online lesson. My name is Nabil Fikri bin Shaizan, an application engineer from MacCat Systems. So for today's free online lessons, I would like to share you about the Fusion 360's arrange features. Right. So for this case, is the function or tools inside of Fusions that allow you to arrange your components. Right. So something which is similar with the nesting tools. Right, so this will be our agenda for today. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to come up with our assembly file, which consists of multiple components or parts. We're going to set up our components and going to select the different type of arrange solver. Then we're going to manage the envelope size, which is the raw material size. Then we're going to readjusting the objects. Right, so let me show you the example. So right here is I have a wooden box that I will be using to separate each of these individual parts, and then I will lay out on a cutting patterns. So the arrange features you can find under the modified tools, and then you should be able to find over here. So if you don't see these arrange features down here, you can go back to your profile here, then you can select the preference. Then under the design tab, and make sure to have arrange is enabled. All right, so make sure to check this one out. So I have my arrange features as on. So to use it, I can just click at the arrange. And then from here, I can specify the objects. Right, so I can select part by parts if I want to. Or I can just simply select everything from here. But before that, we're going to take a look what type of arrange that we have. So if you take a look, if you take a look at the arrange here, so we have a different type of solver. So one is the 2D. Right, so this is most commonly that people will use. And we also have 2D rectangular, which is slightly allowing to have easily straight cuts. So it will try to arrange to make sure to have straight cut easily. Right? So for example, if you have a saw blade, for example, so you might not be able to have a rack space to cut the object. So that is the 2D rectangular is allowing you to lay out the cutting patterns easily for the straight line. Right? And then we have the 3D object or 3D arrange. So allowing to arrange this part in the 3D axis. Right? So from here, what type of object that available for you to use arrange? So you need to use a component. So if you have an object or bodies, so that one you will not be able to select. Right? So for example, let's say if I create a new design from here, then this part is the single component without any assembly files. And I would like to have this item into the arrange features. So let me just extrude this one, as examples. And then if I try to use arrange, and I will try to click, so you cannot see that it does not able to appear under the component down here. So you need to make sure the component that you selected is a component. So right now is a body. So I'm going to create this as a component. Now it's now becoming components. And then when I using the arrange, I should be able to select it down here if I want more. So I can just select some more. Then I can select the planes. Then I have this arrange available. So let's take a look at the example from here. So we start first with the 3D arrange first. So 3D arrange basically allow you to arrange on this specific space here. Right? So you have the X, Y, and Z axis. So to control the size of this envelope, so you can go to the envelope settings. Right? So you need to select the plane, which is already selected over here, and then you can specify the length of this envelope box over here. Right? So maybe I want to make it smaller or bigger. You can just select from there. And to make sure that part is actually put inside this box, so that will be under the object. Then I can select the component either one by one, or I can just simply select everything from here, then it will be added. Now from the envelope settings, so we have quite a few. So basically more on this box size only. So maybe I would like to make it smaller. So I can reduce the size of this box here, and it will try to rearrange for the size that it able to fit inside. So that is the function for envelope, right? So this one is quite useful. Maybe you would like to design cabinets or storage box, and then you would like to see if you have certain items, how you can fit inside. These arrange features would definitely be helpful. Right, so down here, we also have the offset, right? Basically just to offset this envelope box here, so nothing much. We also have these spacings. So maybe you would like to put a spacing between one parts to another, right? So that will be the object spacing. Maybe I would like to make it slightly bigger space. So that is the spacing setting. So I believe we can take a look much more clear with the 2D one. So for this case, I'm going to switch into a 2D. So again, we have two different type of 2D. So one is the 2D shape. So mostly this is the one that you like to use. So let me just change back to 2. So the shape here does not actually mind what are the positions where you put the shape. But if you have a, let's say, a blade cut or saw blade, right? If you want to cut it, so you might not be able to go into this small area space. So you might need to have a straight cut. So that will be the function for the 2D rectangle, right? So for example, like this, right? So it is pretty much impossible for a saw blade to go through here, so that you can select the 2D rectangle. So I try to make it much more easy for you to use. Right, but for this case, we're going to focus more on the 2D shape. And let's take a look at the envelope itself. So first of all, we have two different types of selection. One is sketch of faces. So this is where if you have a sketch, you can put the overall object inside of the sketch itself instead of laying out on the square envelope like this. So that is the sketch. So, all right, for this case, we will take a look later on. So we'll focus on the plane first. If you don't have the plane, so again, you need to specify the planes from here. So I'm going to select this. So to make it clear, let me just put it somewhere at the left side. And now we can start to specify our envelope size, right? So same again with the 3D one. So we also have the length and width. Maybe I would like to make it slightly longer, so I can control based on the width. So we change right here. So currently I have two of the same object, right? Two copies. So for this case, I'm going to disable this one first. We will take a look at this one later on. But this is basically all of the item that I have over here and is being laid out on this envelope. So if I would like to change the size, I can just simply go ahead and change from here. Maybe make it slightly smaller. You can basically just do it from here. Same again with the 3D one, I have the offset. So I can control based on the value from here, or I can just use this arrow. And over here, we have the limit envelope. This one is basically allowing you to specify a limit of envelope. So if I turn the limits, so we have the unlimited envelope. So as long as I haven't reached the overall parts inside of the envelope, it's going to create another one. For example, like this. So it creates the third one just to make sure that the other one is able to fit inside, right? So if I have bigger envelope, we make it 250. So now we have 2, right? So if you don't have enough space, then it will create the third one. But what if I don't have the available raw material from my from my storage. So that is where you can limit the how many envelope that you have, right? Maybe I only have two only. So it's going to give you only two envelopes. So depend on how many that you have. And it's going to show you if you don't have item that does not able to fit inside everything, it's going to highlight with the red color over here. So this is one that has been left out. So I need to have the third envelope for this case. Right. Or another things that I have down here is the allow partial range. So basically this one is being ticked on. What this does is actually allowing some of the item that does not able to fit, still allow for the other rest to be fit inside while it giving me this highlighted color. If I uncheck this one, so it's going to tell me that I don't have enough space, so nothing will be put or laid out on this envelope. Right? So the reason why, because if you have hundreds of parts, hundreds of components, so you might not be able to see one by one each of the highlights. So you might want to allow, you might want to turn off allow partial range, right? So that you will be able to see if there are items that miss out from this envelope. In my case, I would like to make it on. I would like to have my envelope to be unlimited. So it will continue for the next envelope. Down here, we also have placement clearance. So nothing much from here. But in case you need to have a clearance down here, make it slightly higher, then this is where you can control, right? Maybe I would like to make it 5 millimeter thicker. So this is the placement clearance. I'm just gonna leave it back at 0. Or maybe I would like to also flip this up, right? So for example, if I take a look at the one of the item over here, at the downside here, I have this hollow over here. So maybe I would like to make it at the top. So I can use the flip envelope. So it will flip upward. So that is the function for the flip. I can also make sure everything is rotate on certain degree. So that will be the grain directions. Maybe I would like to make it 45 degrees. So everything will be 45. But for this case, I would like to make everything become 0. But if you only want one of the part to be rotate 45 degree or so on, so that one you can control from the object setting from here. Right, so from the envelope itself, so we also have a spacing settings. Same goes with the 3D one, but from here we take a look a little bit detail. So first of all, we have the frame width, which is the actual size of my raw material here. I have a little bit of gap down here. So this is the frame width, because sometimes your raw material might not come perfectly. So maybe there are some jagged. So if you try using the actual from the origin 0, so maybe there are some of the item here might be cut out, right? So this is the function for the spacing here. So maybe I would like to make it much more thicker. And then you will see that it will try to rearrange a new position. So for this case, I'm just going to make it 2. We have also the object spacing, which is object from one component to the other. Maybe I would like to make it much more bigger gap because I have a bigger cutting tool. Let's say around 10 millimeter, for example. So I have higher gap. Or maybe I'm using a very, very small cutting tool, such as laser cutting, for example. So for that case, I might want to reduce it to 1 or maybe 2 millimeters. So you can see that the spacing is now has been reduced. Down here, we have the envelope spacing, which is the spacing between one envelope to the other. So I believe this one is not quite important, but if you find yourself need to make some space, then you can control based on the envelope spacing from here. Now let's take a look at the object settings. So there are a few things that we can do from here. So again, we can change the solver type, which we already take a look here. We also have the ability to rotate. So currently I have the global rotation. I can select whether I don't want to have any rotations. So it will put exactly how it was sketched. Or maybe I would like to put it 180 only, or any type of rotation that I have over here. And then I can change for the global rotation from the envelope, which is the grain direction over here, right? Which is for overall, the overall object, right? The overall component. So down here, we also have the quantity. If I would like to have more than one copy, so this one is exactly this item to this item, this item to this item, only one copy for each. Maybe I would like to have, let's say, 2 or 3 or more. So I can control based on the global quantity from here. So let me just reduce it back to 2. So currently I only have 2 copy for this each of the individual components. So this one has 2 copy, this one has 2 copy, and so on. But if I would like to have much more freedom or settings for the selections, so that is where I can control based on the value from here, down here, right? So we have the component list. You can select the component one by one, and it will show you which of the components that you have over here. Then I can also change the component rotations, like change the component quantity. Maybe I would like to change the rotations. So I can select one, which is this one. I would like this to be 45 degree. And only this item will be rotate for 45 degree. Okay, I'm not sure if I select the wrong one. Okay, I actually select this one, right? So this one become 45 degree. So maybe this one as well. I'm not sure if I selected the correct one. So let me try again with this one. Okay, now this one is become 45 degree, including with the copies itself. This one is not the copy, it's actually a different one, which is the opposite of this two component. But the copy one become 45 degree. So if I would like to also have multiple copies, so everything is become 2 copies, but let's say this hanger here, I would like to make it 4 copies for this. So I can find it from here, or be the second one, which is this one. I can control based on the value of the quantity from here. So currently it's set to global. So I want this to make 4. So we have 4 copy for this individual item. And other things I can also fill in for the blank area. So maybe I would like to make it 6, but I still have some more blanks. And what I would like to do is that I would like to fill everything so that I will not waste any empty space. So what you can do is that we have the filling option over here. We just pull this one, right? So we have the filler here. So for this case, maybe I have this small part here, and I would like to have it able to fill in on the extra area here. So I will choose this one. So I believe I selected the correct one. And instead of specify the quantity manually, so I can select filler. So it will make sure that it will be filled in. As long as there are empty area that it can be put, it will put on that area. So that is the function for filler. So once I'm done, you can just press OK. Then I have this something like a nest switches, which is created using the arrange. So another thing is, let's say if I have a remnant of raw materials, maybe I have do some copies and I have some leftover. So for that case, I can use a sketch methods. Maybe I have this wooden plank here, which has been cut like this. Maybe there are also some holes inside. And what I would like to do here is that I would like to put everything inside of this blank area. So again, you can use sketch. So when I use arrange features on the envelope itself, I can select the sketch face. I can select this sketch face over here. So it will be put inside this area. So I can go back to the object here. Then I can select either item individual one by one, or I can also select everything So it will be calculated and we will put down here. So currently I already have 2 items that are able to fit inside. So I have these kind of items. Maybe I only have, I only want to have one quantity. So I'll maybe just pick this as one. So currently I have some more. And if I were to have a different type of raw materials or envelopes, so what I can do is that I can also edit this sketch here. Right? So maybe I have slightly bigger space for the raw materials. So if I do some editing, so you can see that it will be updating and try to fit everything inside. Right? As long as it's able to reach, it will try to put it. Right? So if I try to move this hole here as well, so it will try to rearrange as well. So currently, obviously, I need to have much more space. Now that I have done that, so I have this arrange features able to do on the leftover of the raw material. So that is basically what I would like to share with this Visual 360 arrange. Right, but before we end our session, so I would like to share you about the upcoming event. So from here, if you like to visit our website, you can go to any browser and type over there acadsystems.com and press enter. Then it will bring you to our mail landing page over here. So if you would like to contact us, so we have KL and also Penang phone number over here. And then if you would like to chat with us, you can also contact us through here on the live chat. And then to see our upcoming event, you can just scroll down here a little bit, and then you will see our free online lessons that you can basically join from here. Just some information that I would like to share with you is that we have an event conference for this month, which is focusing more on manufacturing, which is the future of Autodesk design and manufacturing event. So this one will be done at Shah Alam. If you're interested, you can click over here and you can find much more information. So it will be done, it will be held at the Glen Marie Golf and Country Resort. So this will be the time and dates, 22 August. That if you would like to have much more information, you can contact us. Or if you're ready to join, you can just go down here and then you can reserve the seat from here. So that is basically all that I would like to share with you guys. So thank you everyone for joining this free online lesson. So have a nice day and bye-bye.